Hi, Steve Wolvers with the Wolvers Pack. I'm here addressing some questions on our emails today, and thanks again for keeping them coming in. I love to help people out, and hopefully you're all growing a little through our process of helping you with some free leads. First question I have today is, I'm having trouble with expireds. What is your process of capturing expireds? Well, number one is, you got to be willing to go in there and get your butt chewed for an hour. Because you got to say, okay, the house didn't sell, so what do you think the problem was? And they're going to say, because a greedy realtor lied to me, or they said they'd advertise it, or they never had open houses, they never done that. You got to let them vent. They won't listen to you until they've vented. After they've vented, now play takeaway. I hear what you're saying, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, and if I understand you right, you're upset because your agent didn't market you well enough, didn't advertise you well enough, or didn't hold your house open, or didn't follow up with you well enough. You got to address and make sure that you are hearing their frustration. Once you come to agreement of, yes, that's what we went through, then you've got to sell yourself. But if their complaint is that the agent they never heard from, you're the agent that don't want to have to hold a hand and call back 5 times a week, then address it. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I guarantee you I've got, and this is me truly, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I can guarantee you nobody will advertise your house better or more often than me. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I will guarantee you that every ad I push your house in will always have a payment, because people don't care what your house costs, they look for a payment. And Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I can guarantee you that last year 98% of my listings sold for full price because of this marketing campaign. But Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you're the only one that can make this house sell. Because when I bring these buyers here from my marketing, A, it has to be priced right. We're going to go over why you priced it where you did and where I think it needs to be. And number 2 is, we're going to go over, when I market it, you got to make it ease of access to show it. You can't tell me you need 4 days notice because you had kids playing all day in the basement. Realistically, people are hot when they're hot, and if I don't get them in that night, they're going to buy something else if it's not yours. So in order for me to be able to spend my money and market your house the way it needs to be to get you top dollar, I need a commitment that your house will be ready 100% of the time while it's on the market for me to show in a 2 hours notice. If we can come to terms with that, I could sell your house. But if you don't, I understand. It's just, it's going to be a shame because your house may not sell again. Once again, takeaway is a very strong motivator for any seller that wants to sell their house.